I was looking at a monster, and that was all I kept saying to my wife. I just kept saying to Chrissy, I said, that guy is enormous. I had no idea how big he was. And I just, okay, now let me play both sides of the coin here.
Okay.
Taking steroids does not make you a better baseball player. However, taking steroids and having the commitment to put yourself in the gym and working harder and get stronger makes you better. Look at what it's done for track athletes. Look at what it's done for pitchers in baseball, especially middle relievers.
So you
still have to have the commitment.
It's a motivational drug?
You still have to have the commitment. You have to have the commitment to be in the gym. You can't just shoot yourself with steroids and hit 450-foot bombs. You still have to go into the gym and work hard. That being said, you are doing it with steroids. You're doing it with a drug that allows your body to bounce back the next day. And he did it for 3 years, Matt. And his home runs went up 12 home runs per year. Those 3 years he admitted to doing steroids.
Yeah.
And who's to say he wasn't doing them during 07, which was his best season ever? I mean, who's to say he wasn't doing it?
I mean, do you think he had a choice, Faz, to come out and just admit it right away? I mean, did he really have a choice, did he? I mean, with all the things that were happening with the other players, the amnesia thing, and I don't want to talk about the past and whatnot.
No, you make a great point. I mean, if he came out and he pulled a Roger Clemens or a Mark McGwire or a Barry Bonds, he would have been vilified. Here he is. He's 30, I think he's 33. I'd have to double check it, but he has an opportunity to vindicate himself. He has an opportunity to have 10 years, maybe 12 years of saying, look, I was tested 15, 16 times during the year. Whatever the amount of times being, Alex Rodriguez wants to make his tests public now. He wants everybody to see, look, I can do this without steroids, because he, like Barry Bonds, could have done it without steroids. Neither of them needed those steroids. But what those steroids did was allow them to ascend to the top of the game. If they did it without steroids, they still would have been one of the greatest players of their time, both of those guys. But a guy like A-Rod, a guy like Barry Bonds, they couldn't stand watching other people doing the steroids and getting the accolades. They had to do it as well.
Yeah.
But I do think, unlike Barry Bonds, I think A-Rod is young enough where he can still do it naturally over the next 10 to 12 years of his career. Maybe not 10 to 12. Let's say 8 to 10 years of his career. He may be able to vindicate himself. However, will anybody ever trust him again? I don't know.
Right.
I have never been a fan of A-Rod, and not because of the steroids. It was well before that. It was because I think he plays the game without integrity. I think he plays the game Bush League, and I believe he falls apart under pressure, as opposed to Manny Ramirez, who never feels pressure. He's almost too ignorant to feel pressure. He just gets up and hits the ball. A-Rod feels it.
So I'm going to read this quote from Steve Wine, AP sports writer. Tell me how this makes you feel. This is coming out of Jupiter, Florida. Grade school autograph seeker kept shouting at Alex Rodriguez behind from the chain link fence next to the dugout. "Please, Alex, you'll make my day," the boy hollered. "Please, Alex, you'll make my trip." Rodriguez tried to ignore him at first and waved him off, and then he relented. Through the fence, he gave the youngster his signature, and the crowd clustered near the dugout, including hardened New York Yankee fans, responded to the Disney-esque moment with a collective awe. "Thank you so much," the boy said. "You just made my life." How does that make you feel, Tony, when you hear something like that?
That he did something special? What do you think? Do you believe he did something special?
Well,
is that what you're telling me?
Well, I guess I'm just trying to touch to your boyhood love of baseball. How does that make you feel when you hear something like that?
My boyhood love of baseball. I believe this, and I could be crazy. Listeners out there think I might be crazy, but I think Alex Rodriguez wants, more than anything in the world, wants to be remembered as the greatest baseball player who ever lived. He wants to be Cal Ripken-esque when it is.
Oh my God, Tony, Cal! What a.
But he wants to be Cal. But who? He wants to be Cal Ripken when it comes to signing autographs and love of the game. He wants to be Babe Ruth when it comes to hitting. He wants to be everything. And Alex Rodriguez's problem is he can't be everything.
Yeah.
He cannot.
Yeah.
And
especially
how
the
does it
media
make me
scrutiny
feel?
too. The media scrutiny is just terrible. But I mean,
it makes me. But yes. But it makes me, Matt. It makes me feel like he needs to. That Alex Rodriguez doesn't do it for the love of the game. I think Alex Rodriguez does it for where his spot in history will be. And I'm not, I'm not standing up here being a hater of Alex Rodriguez. I think the guy is so talented, but I just don't. I don't know. I have a problem fawning over him for that. And there are, especially down in spring training. Anyone in spring training will know that's the best place to go to meet these guys. And what Alex Rodriguez is going through down there right now must be unprecedented.
Let me touch on the steroid issue again, Tony. Steroids in baseball. How does that affect you as a fan? How does it affect you personally? I mean, do you feel as if it's tainted the game? Has it hurt you? Has it made you look less at baseball? Has it made you want to look more at baseball? Has it not affected you at all?
No. It's so funny too. Is I'm watching SportsCenter right now, and there's a big thing that just came up that said steroids, the enablers, and they're going to be talking about people who enabled it. Does it affect my love of the game? No. The same way that amphetamines in the 70s wouldn't have affected my love of the game. The same way that cocaine in the 80s would not have affected my love of the game. The same way that Gaylord Perry, who was in the fucking Hall of Fame, excuse my language, was throwing a spitball his whole career and a grease ball his whole career, does not affect my love of the game. There is cheating in sports.
True.
Cheating is part of sports. Now, it was on such a major scale with the steroids thing.
Yeah.
But I tell you, man, I'm a parent of 4.
Yeah.
And as a parent of 4, it's hard to watch your children and everything they do.
Sure.
But Bud Selig, I want to use that as a metaphor. Bud Selig was the parent, and Bud Selig should have known what was going on. He was reveling in the summer of '98 with McGwire and Sosa. He was reveling in Cal Ripken in '95, bringing the game back with the streak. He reveled in that stuff.
You know what the sad fact is?
What is it?
He's a good baseball commissioner because he makes the league dough.
Because he makes the league go?
Dough. D-O-E, baby.
He makes the league dough. There's no doubt about it. He definitely has
tons of money. So,
do you think he made the league tons of money, or do you think that he watched these guys hit home runs out of the park and make money? He loved the summer of '98, and he knew those guys were doing steroids.
I always saw
he knew it.
But
here's the deal, Matt.
Man, I just have no.
But hold on a second. Let me make a point.
Okay.
He knew in '98 what was going on between Sosa and McGwire. He knew it. He knew what was going on with Barry Bonds in 2001. He knew it. But he chose. He absolutely chose to either ignore it, number one, or he was so stupid he couldn't see it, number two. Either way, he is culpable, and he has stood up and he has said, "It's not my fault." He has actually come out and said it.
Unbelievable.
At one point, you need to stand up and say, "This happened under my watch, and I take responsibility for this."
I agree.
And I'm going to clean this game up. But instead what he does is he says, "I'm going to clean this game up. Look what I've done to this game." Well, I'll tell you what, he wouldn't have done shit to this game if Jose Canseco didn't come out and say something first.
Yeah.
And, Jose Canseco, who is just blackballed from baseball, and who I have no respect for, but he's the one who uncovered everything, not Bud Selig. And Bud Selig, yes, is there money being made for baseball owners? You bet. Wow. Is there money being made for baseball players? You bet. But I also believe that it's not Bud Selig who's making that money. It's those players. And it's also the fact that he allowed those guys to inflate their numbers insanely.
I love your passion, Faz. Your passion for the game just emanates. It just emanates here in the studio. No, it's fantastic.
How you doing, pal?
Let's go on a lighter subject of baseball.
Let's do it.
Let's talk just for the remaining few minutes that we have. Let's talk about records that will never be beaten.
Oh boy.
Are you safe? Are you safe with saying that, Faz? That there's baseball records that will never. You are safe with that. Completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Safe.
Absolutely.
Name me the top 3 in order. With the first one
never be beaten.
With the first being the absolute will never be beaten in order.
Cy Young's wins. Cy Young's 500 plus wins. It's impossible to be beaten.
Number 1, okay, would be Cy Young.
Number 1, Cy Young's 500 plus wins. I mean, baseball players right now. I mean, you're looking at a guy like Roger Clemens or who has also embroiled his own steroid controversy. You're looking at guys like Greg Maddux. You're looking at guys like Randy Johnson, guys who put 20 some odd years into the big leagues. And they've gotten 300 plus wins. Randy Johnson will get 300 plus this year, but they're still 150, 200 wins away because they don't have 4-man rotations anymore. They have 5-man rotations.
So what we're going to have to do, Faz, is we're going to have to get 2 and 3 on the next show because we're running short of time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
But Faz, I just thought you made some great points tonight. It was a fantastic show. I finally let that genie love of baseball come out of your body, and it just, I mean, it was just ringing. It was huge.
I feel like the show's only going for 2 minutes. I apologize.
I want to thank you, Faz, for your earnest answers and sharing your love of baseball with me and all our fans. I really appreciate it.
All right. I love you, cousin, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, Faz. You take care. Have a great evening.
You too, buddy.
All right.
See ya.
Bye-bye.